Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone out to, I'd like to welcome everyone out to the Hurley Investments Financial Services Commentary for the 2nd of October, 2018. My name is Kevin Hurley, and I look forward to spending probably not too much time with you today. It's going to be a short one. Looking forward to just going over a couple things that I saw and basically going over what's important for the week. I asked the question, what's your favorite stock? And there's an underlying tone for that. Because if I was to ask you what your favorite stock is, it usually means two things. It will usually mean pretty simple and pretty easy that you made the most money with it, right? Or it is the easiest one for you to read its trends. That's typically what your favorite stock is. Now, I'll be honest with you, Baidu is my favorite, if I could spell it right. Baidu is my favorite because it made the most amount of money. But, get this plugged in, hold on. Hopefully you can hear me a little bit better now. But my best spread trade was off of the First Solar. In the trade for 15 minutes and made over $52,000. A complete blunder. In all honesty, it's taking someone else's money, putting on a strangle straddle, did it about 5 minutes before the market ended. Probably spent too much. It moved significantly after hours, took it off the first 5 minutes the market was opened. Done. I asked this question because it all comes down to one point. It all comes down to one point. And it really comes down to should type it in. How well you know the companies you want to trade. A new company that I want to trade, I probably will try to watch it for 6 months. I'll spend a lot of time going through what I see over that 6-month period of time. I'll spend quite a bit of time going through what I'm looking for, what I expect to do. One of those stocks, and I see a couple people here that'll kind of laugh at me, I'm sure. One of those stocks that I like, that I think is way undervalued, is Ford. Kevin, why would you be investing in Ford? Ford's one of the stocks that I made my best money when it was going down and it came back from 2008. I hope Ford will be my next success story. But as long as it's fundamentally sound, way undervalued, it is an excellent stock to have as a potential growth opportunity. really, how well do you know your companies? Unfortunately, I hear a lot of people that'll run off to, well, I heard on CNBC. Actually, I got this advisory that said this. Hey, I was told, and when you ask, well, who were you told by? Oh, an advisor, a friend. There, the best stock tip is probably the one that you never follow. If you can't do your own research on it and you can't spend your own time caring about it, understanding trends, how it moves at earnings, product cycles, and so forth, it just probably is not going to be your favorite stock over time. Well, Kevin, I thought you were an Apple. I've made great money. And I should say, I love Apple, Visa, Disney, Nvidia. That was getting called out at like $55. Netflix. SanDisk back in the day made me great money. Where can I pick out some more winners? EA, I want to say EAS, where it was the EA Sports. Walmart never been a good one, but Microsoft has been pretty good. ExxonMobil has been good. Murphy Oil has been good to me. ConocoPhillips has been good to me. Really, about the things that I haven't made good money on were energies. The energies are pretty rough. But blue chips, it all comes down to being nothing more than being able to wait for those movements coming around. In Ford's case, what caused current drop and why do you expect it will revert strong? Current drop was because it missed its monthly year-over-year sales numbers. And because they're doing everything right to shed the not so profitable cars and focus on what they're best at, and that's trucks right now. So there are a lot of stocks that I love. I'm sure I could go back in time and find even more. But what it really comes down to, if it's your favorite stock, it's probably the one you made the most money on. But more importantly, it's probably the easiest one that you can read the trends that the stock will go through. That is how most people define their favorite stock. It takes some effort. It takes some effort and time. I've got quite a bit of money on the sidelines. I'm looking forward to the future earnings coming up here in October. Towards the end of October, I need to get some money to work. And I find that money to get to work, in all honesty, by looking at favorite stocks, looking at my watch list on new stocks that I want to add. Notice there's not a whole lot of financials in here right now. But I could tell you one of my favorite stocks was Bear Stearns before it went out of business. An amazing financial that you can make upwards of 34, 38% on a stock that went out of business. I'm saying this because sometimes you're sitting and you're waiting for the next best thing. And if you're sitting and waiting, that should tell you you're not doing enough doing. If you're sitting and waiting and not crunching numbers, not looking at opportunities, looking to find something that's out there, you're probably not doing it right. Your next favorite stock isn't going to fall into your lap. it usually will take some work to decide if that is going to be worth your next investment. Done through fundamental analysis for some people, done through trying to find a stock like Ford that's undervalued from its book ratio to its cash ratio, waiting for Under Armour to move back up to 42. There's a lot of opportunity out there. The question is, do you have the patience to wait for it? You probably heard me talk a lot about patience. About 4 weeks ago when I did one of these, posted it up there on my Hurley investment, I actually got an email from a person. Kevin, how can you wait to be so patient? How come you can wait for things to come back? How are you able to not throw in the towel and just go and look for the next best thing? What do you think my answer was? What do I do that makes me be able to wait? Modat says sell puts. That is a great idea. That is not exactly correct, but you're on the line there to a roundabout way. How am I able to wait? What gives me the ability to wait it out? Do you think? I know that's kind of a loaded question, isn't it? There we go. I collar trade. That's correct. I trade a style of trading that allows me to sit and wait and to make up some of the downside movement. It's not easy. A lot of people want instant gratification. I'm not going to be your instant gratification guy. But if I can make $2 on the $13 to $9 movement down on Ford, that's $2 less it has to come back up. And that really should be, let's see if we have 1,000 shares. Doing a little bit of math here, if I could open up my phone. So on 2,000 shares to make up 2 out of a $4 drop down, it's $2,000 divided by $9. That's 222 more shares of stock I get to buy because I'm dollar cost averaging without asking for more money. Again, one more time. If you buy Ford, right, 1,000 shares at roughly $13 a share, and you make up $2 of the $4 drop, that's going to equal 2,000 cash divided by $9 comes out to 222 more shares of stock for proactive stock management. Why is that important? Why is that going to be important? Well, if you have 1,200 shares times the stock getting just back up to $11, right? 1,200 times 11. That comes out to $13,200. Not bad, right? You should be breaking even. Or, remember, 1,000 shares bought at $13 a share. Is only equal to $13,000. Should we do the what if game, right? What if Ford gets back to 13 times 1,200 shares 13 times 1200. That looks like it'll be at 15,600 for $2,600 of profit, or 26 divided by 13,000 equals a 20% return on investment. When everyone else had just sat around and waited for it to come back, is getting out with no return, but happy that they broke even. Time is wasted in this regard. All it is a numbers game, and I can't predict the future. As much as I would like to, in my opinion, Ford should be all the way up to at least $22. And it's not happening. This week, I took out a year-long chart. So you can see what happened in last November and what happened into the last of the year. We might go in just like we did in January of last year, because it's our last time that we get these ridiculous, amazing comps into Christmas when people are making more money. Everything you see there from November of last year through January, everything seems to set up for the same cycle to come on through. So what's the catalyst? What will the catalyst be this November instead of a tax breaks? What will the catalyst be this November? Ma, doesn't it concern me that car sales are down? They're not down. They're down 1 month year over year. They're actually pretty flat, if not slightly up overall. But no, the car sales do not concern me yet. There's no problem with credit. There's no problem with customers having higher income. Cars are still ridiculously old, 11 years. We still have good opportunities with some significant lower interest rates. None of that is a concern for me. Now, if we went from 9.5 million trucks and 3.5 million cars, we weren't close to 14, we're down around 11 million in sales, then I would worry about it. So looking at the Dow, are we still bullish? Bearish? What do you see? There you go. Good job, guys. Yeah, I mean, technically, we're still bullish, just touching the oversold, right? And it's overbought, not oversold. Wrong verbiage, Hurley. SPY, what do we see on the SPY? Still bullish, sitting in the middle of its range. NASDAQ still bullish. Don't have our crossovers yet on at least the RSI, in which case if we don't have our 3 confirming crossovers and we're sideways on the MACD, we don't have a bearish indicator just yet. With that expectation, I think our markets will go up higher this week. When I see what's happening this week, average work week reports on Friday. And waiting for a China trade resolution. We will most likely have in October an FOMC meeting. We should not have a rate hike. We will see the Chinese gold-backed yuan currency start to trade oil. We will see the start of the midterms where they're going to get probably to a certain degree a little ugly. I asked what was the stimulus for November. I'm going to tell you it will probably be midterm elections. November 6th, if we see the Republicans hold both parts of Congress, we know things will still get done. We won't be in gridlock, and we will most likely see a ridiculous move higher in our stock market, much like we saw last year. As I went through this week, again, I would expect to see maybe 1.5% in October. We haven't seen a big buying day yet where people would be going back into mutual funds as they've had distributions. Costco reports for earnings. Average workweek reports are on Friday. Nothing international stands out to me. Someone asked about how am I looking to trade? I have June, I have 200, June 2020, long calls on Facebook. That sometime today, I could have dollar cost averaged for $16 a contract. What am I doing? Am I averaging down? No, there's no need to average down. I have till June 2020. Nothing will happen on Facebook until their next earnings. If they still are anywhere close to revenues that have been brought down pretty significantly, Facebook will still be a growth stock and it'll really still take off. So am I rolling them down? Am I dollar cost averaging just yet? I'm not. It is at that 160 mark, which lets me know that I will most likely be able to dollar cost average closer to the stock, possibly trading at 150. But if I'm in a leap long call, I've got a lot of time. I don't need to start making a lot of adjustments. I don't need to start dollar cost averaging. Again, I can do one of the hardest things to do in all of trading. I can sit and I can be patient. And that will be, it's tough. It is not easy sitting around and being patient. Nice to see it up 42 cents an after hours, sitting at 159.70. It looks like there's still some buyers to the tune of $2.5 million that bought it after the market closed. $2.5 million. 2.5 million shares were purchased to the upside of the buy side at 42 cents. So it looks like there's still some buyers at that 160 level where Facebook's a good price at a 25% discount from the 218 that it was trading at. A couple interesting articles. House passes tax cut bill despite unlikely Senate approval. I bet you didn't know that we had some tax cut bills for individuals that are sitting in the Senate right now. Do go through and read through this. A little interesting article, women are losing sleep over this retirement savings fear. Pretty interesting article. I think men would also be worried about it. I have an article about Baidu. I would agree 100% with it. When things are cheap in the store, you don't run out of the store. You look for opportunities. And last but not least, some key differences between the NAFTA and the new agreement, the United States, Mexico, Canada agreement that Trump has set up. With that said, I'm sorry, guys. I did not have a whole lot to go over or talk about. Are there any questions about anything related to trading that I can answer for you? Rather unusual the other day, reading about Italy again. I was going to be a little shocked if the pigs were now a problem yet again, but it looks like the Italy fiasco last week, kind of blew over pretty quickly. So with that said, sorry, I don't have a lot of stuff today. I won't take up too much of your time. Any questions you have for me that I can answer for you? Again, how are your 100, well, it's the June 220, 200 long calls. What I paid 32 to 36 to 38 are now in that $30 range. I've done $8 cost averaging, and I'm just trying to be patient to before I make my next decision on it, and it will probably be closer to earnings. I am not going to roll down. I have got plenty of time, and there's really a good chance that they will definitely get back up to 200 in the next year and a half. Great question. Thank you for putting that in. Study EWZ. So Abraham just gave me a thought. He said, hey, Kevin, do some studying on EWZ. I will definitely take a look at it. Election will make large moves. I hope so. I hope the election makes some large moves in general for our stock market. Out of curiosity, what is EWZ? The Brazil. iShares for Brazil. When is your election down there, Abraham? Did make a nice jump. Ooh. Sunday. So maybe a strangle straddle. Maybe see some movement on this one. Abraham, I will check that one out. I don't know what it was for Mexico, but you could more or less do the same look at Mexico and the pop that it had with their earnings on the expectations for some hope, some more growth, things to change a little bit. And not only that, but you could, this was all the way up to 47. So there is some definite upside potential. So look at EWZ. Was it EWW, Ida? Good call, Ida. That's a good one. Both of those good calls, guys. All right. Hey, I appreciate you being here today. Thank you very much. Sorry I don't have a whole lot to go over with you. I don't want to waste your time if I don't have anything, but I appreciate everyone being here tonight. typical group. We got about 17. Guys, have a wonderful week. I look forward to talking with you next week, and then I will have a week off most likely as I make a run out to, nope, I'll be here for the next 2 weeks in a row, and then I'll be gone as I'm traveling back from Houston. Yes, in fact, Maud, I will get all of those off to both of you tonight. I have them downloaded. I just haven't emailed them out. But thank you for the reminder. Guys, have a good evening. I'll talk to you soon. Good night.